Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this program. The 𝗧CERT has taken up the series of programs to sensitize children at the field, even the teachers also, to make them understand the annual question papers, how the question papers are going to be. This is a regular program every year. This year also, we are going to have this a wonderful program. And I think with this program, the children are going to benefit it. Even teachers may have some direction to make the children to facilitate how best we can face the examination, especially annual examination. And to discuss this, as part of all the subjects today, this session we are going to have English. You know that we have, English, again, that children always feel little anxious and little, stress regarding this, that face the question papers at the time of annual examination. So again, and to make them ease, that we have a program here with the field teachers with us, in this studio, and left to me, 𝗪𝗏𝗻 is Benekonda school assistant, is also state resource person, and left to Lakshman Devaraj Nagaraju, who is a PGT and state resource person from Ramadugu, Karimnagar district. And GVR Rajeshwari is also there, left to Nagaraj, and she is very practicing teacher, very aspiring teacher, and she is from Medchil Rangareddy Neredment High School. My dear friends and the students, it is really a wonderful session for you to, at the 11th hours, to go into this, deep into the question paper to have. Really, every year, and we are going to have this, but this year also, we have taken up this program. In fact, the question paper, how the blueprint, at the same time, how the questions are distributed in terms of marks, how text independent and text-based questions come, and especially it goes into three ways. You know that. The one is reading comprehension. There's a major part that really 37 marks are going to cover to this. And number two, we have focusing on this grammar and vocabulary. And of course, third one is creative writing. The three panelists are going to discuss at length to make you understand and how that these things to be work out in the field. And children especially think about very seriously, see this, and if you wanted, you can take some notes also to make your mind very clear to face this examination. Still, we are going to have time in the pre-final exams also. This is going to be useful. It's a pre-test for you to understand more, go into this, deep into the question paper pattern. So to begin with, I request Lakshman to discuss the blueprint and the distribution of marks and the pattern of everything to begin with. Lakshman, over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Mangareddy sir, for giving me this good introduction. And so, as you, dear children, as you know, in the public examination, the English paper is conducted for 80 marks, which consists two parts, Part A and Part B. You know very well, Part A carries 60 marks and Part B carries 20 marks. So, for Part A, you are supposed to write the answers in a descriptive manner in a separate answer booklet. And in Part B, you will be given objective type questions and you are supposed to write answers in Part B only. So, you have to attach this Part B paper to your main answer booklet and submit to your invigilator. This is a preliminary information regarding. And you all know very well, so at the end of an academic year, you are supposed to achieve 6 academic standards, namely listening and speaking, reading comprehension, vocabulary, grammar, creative expression, and conventions of writing. So, you know very well, so during the formative assessment, these 6 academic standards are focused, and your performance, on the basis of your performance, your teachers have already awarded marks for 20 marks. But whereas in our public examination, only 5 academic standards are being focused. You know very well, that's reading comprehension, vocabulary and grammar, creative expression, and conventions of writing. So, in your public examination, you don't find the section for conventions of writing, but the you will be tested how far you got expertise in punctuation too. So, must be careful, and when you are writing, you try to observe all the punctuation marks which were taught by your teachers during your classroom transaction process. And next in part A, so 60 marks, and part B is 20 marks. Now, let us see the marks division or weightage of marks which are assigned for our question paper. So, as we can see on the screen, here you can see the question wise description. The first part is reading comprehension, that is 1 to 5 questions. So, that is given from reading comprehension, and the passage will be given from reading A. So, we have 8 A readings, 8 B readings and 8 C readings. So, you know very well each unit consists of 3 readings A, B, C, but for the first bit only the passage will be taken from A reading, and the A reading is followed by 4 short answer questions, and each question carries 3 marks. In total 12 marks will be allotted to the A reading, and for second bit, that is 5 to 8 questions, that is again reading comprehension passage, that will be given either from B or C reading. The passage is followed by short answer questions again, and you will be given 4 questions. Each question carries 3 marks. In total 12 marks for that bit. And the third bit that is also come under reading comprehension, which is called study skills. So, this study skills is to test your reading skill and interpretation skills. So, this information will be given in different forms like pie charts or table or graphs. These different type of interpretation of representation of data will be given for you, and that is followed by 4 questions. These are called very short answer questions. Each question carries 2 marks. In total 8 marks are allotted to that bit. And the fourth one is that 13th question. This is purely on grammatical, to test your grammatical awareness. So, transformation of sentences. These are also very short answer questions, and you will be given 6 sentences, and you are supposed to write any 4 of them. Each question carries 2 marks, and total 8 marks. And the next is a followed one, that is a very important one, and which carries more marks. Only one question, that is major discourse, and it comes under creative expression, and it is an essay type question, and which carries 10 marks. So, here you will have one choice, internal choice. So, you know very well major discourses are grouped, divided into 2 groups, group A and group B. You know very well group A. Under group A you will have narrative, conversation, description, interview, choreography, script and drama. And group B, under group B you will have biographical sketch, essay, letter, speech, news report, these 5. So, as a first option you will be given from text dependent. So, in the first A group you will be given any one of the 6, and as a second internal choice you will be given text independent. So, as I have just mentioned the 5, so you will be given any one of them. So, here you can choose to write which one is better to perform in the examination, you can choose. And after that, as a 15th question, minor discourses. So, minor discourses again are divided into 2 groups, group A and group B, and group A includes message, notice and diary. You will be given any one of these 3, and you are supposed to write answer in 50 to 80 words, which carries 5 marks. And followed by the 16th question. That is also minor discourse. So it also carries 5 marks, and this will be taken from authentic context. So many times when we observe our previous question papers, the questions are related to the themes which we have already discussed in our textbooks. So this is about part A. In total, we have 60 marks are allotted for part A, and part B have 4 bits broadly, we can say. The first bit is called unseen poem. This is purely text independent. It is given to test your understanding ability. So it is followed by 5 multiple choice questions. Each question carries 1 mark, total 5 marks, and the following bit is called editing. It's come under identifying the errors. So we will certainly discuss the editing bit later. So it consists 5 errors. If you are able to identify the 5 errors, you will get 5 out of 5. And the following one is called closed test. Generally we call it as closed test, but we can call it as numbered gap or modern closed test. It is again given 5 marks weightage. You will be given 5 blanks, and each blank is given 5 multiple choice. So you have to choose the right one and pick up the right answer, and you have to mention in your objective paper. And the last bit is come under language elements, where the vocabulary is focused, like meanings, opposites, and synonyms, antonyms, and the correct form of sentences. So broadly, this paper design is like this. The highlight part of our question paper is, so you all know very well, we have adopted constructivist pedagogy, so which believes language is learned through social interaction, and language is used nothing but language acquisition. So based on that, we provide context for each question, so that you students can interact with the passage and they identify the different themes, and they have to write out of their understanding. So that is beauty of our question paper.
That's good, Lakshman. You have given very good presentation kind of thing. If you look at this, since reading comprehension has got a major chunk, so do you suggest some other strategies to face this examination? Because, half of the marks are going to be through the reading comprehension only. Can you have that sort of, what are the strategies that you suggest regarding this quickly?
True, sir. I agree with you, because reading comprehension carries more marks, as yes. I have just mentioned, 37 marks.
Yeah.
So 37 marks is a huge share of the question paper. So to score more marks in reading comprehension, students should understand what is being tested through reading comprehension. So generally, through reading comprehension, students are being tested in 3 areas. One is how far they are able to read the text, and it means their reading ability or decoding ability of the text. And the second one is how far they are able to understand the given passage. So this is understanding ability. Yes. And the third one is the very important one, whether the students are able to reflect on the passage or on the theme.
Exactly.
And what is their actual opinion. So could they position themselves into any of the characters, and how are they feeling about the character. So these are all very important things. So when what I feel, the students who are able to score more marks in reading comprehension, I am sure they will certainly score very good marks in all other parts like vocabulary and grammar and creative expression.
That's good, very good. Because you mentioned how this constructivist paradigm and the social interaction, when they bring this experiential orbit to this while facing this, reading is a crux, and when children are able to read it and they can do this, they attempt this question. Now we'll switch out to this Nagaraju, and he is here to talk something about the creative writing. Writing is also very important in the terms of Nagarajan, what is your suggestion to go with this and how the creative writing could be a beautiful one to children to write something that I think with your presentation that children may know something about this creative writing.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
In terms of discourse, actually, the production is a discourse.
Yes.
Okay, right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for this opportunity. As we all know, just now my co-panelist Lakshman sir explained completely about the question paper. So, as we all know, along with reading comprehension and vocabulary and grammar, we will have much importance even for the writing discourses. Writing discourses are nothing but creative expression. As we all know, we express our thoughts, our ideas, not only in oral form, but also in written form. When we express something in written form, that is nothing but writing discourses. Alright? See, in general, when we look at our question paper, from question number 1 to question number 36, today, exclusively, I am going to talk about question number 14, 15 and 16. Alright? For question number 14, that is considered to be for major discourses. Question number 15 and 16, that is meant for minor discourses. In general, we think that we will be having 20 marks for writing discourses. But you know, if we realize for the writing discourses, directly we have 20 marks, but indirectly, that is nothing but conventions of writing. Though conventions of writing is tested in reading comprehension, for each conventions of writing, for each question, 1 mark is allotted. From question number 1 to 4, let me show you something very interesting. When we look at our scheme of evaluation, here we will be surprised to see this. Yeah, all of you, can you look at the screen? Here, I am going to take out, see, instead of every one of us, you know, now we are very close to the public exams. Just we have 39 days to go. In 39 days, you need to have, you know, not only the revision, not only the practice tests, writing practice tests, but you have to get ready completely for the final examination. At this juncture, of course, we may not teach you how you have to write this particular notice, this particular message, this particular diary, or this particular essay, etc. But you know, in the examination, in what way you can get higher marks. Here, if you have a look on the screen, here you see, here this one I have taken from 2025 Principles of Valuation. When we are going to mark the paper, when we are going to evaluate it, we will be given certain instructions. So here I am going to talk strictly about writing discourses only. Here you see 5th point, penalization, that is spellings and error related to the use of language. Penalization should not be more than 1 mark in case of answers to question numbers 14, 15 and 16. Can you believe this? You know, even if you make a few errors related to spellings, grammar, etc., you will be penalized out of 10 only 1 mark. So need not worry about the grammar. Let's think about the expression, contextualization, sequence of sentences, how we develop our idea, how we take up to the end, how we conclude. That really matters instead of grammar. So clearly this shows, right? So when you come down, here you see question number 1 to 4, it is reading comprehension. But one point I think every one of you notice here, conventions of writing and cohesion, for this 1 mark is given, which means that 4 questions, out of 4 questions, 4 multiplies 1, 4 marks are given for conventions of writing. You all know what is conventions of writing? Maintaining proper paraphrasing, whether you begin the sentence with a capital letter or not, how you use your punctuation marks. All these things will be tested even in reading comprehension. Indirectly, it is nothing but testing your writing discourses. When you have the habit of maintaining all punctuations properly, you will be obviously given 1 mark even for the reading comprehension. Here you see, when you look at the slide, for question number 1 to 4, conventions of writing 1 mark, and for 5 to 8 also 1 mark. Altogether 4 plus 4, 8 marks, and then For question number that is study skills 9 to 12 conventions of writing, here you are given half mark per question. So altogether here you have 10 marks, and for the question number 14 you have 10, question number 15 and 16 we will be having 10 marks. So altogether directly 20 marks, indirectly 30 marks. So elaboratively let us have some more discussion after some time. So this is something about writing discourses.
Good. It's very comprehensive presentation, Nagaraj. And now let's hop on to Rajeshwari. Now your turn, Rajeshwari. Now we will go to this, the grammar and vocabulary is also a very important thing. And can you say the significance of this in terms of examination? What are your strategies? What you wanted to discuss? What you wanted to share? Your experience to the children, please. Over to you.
Sir, thank you so much. Good afternoon once again, dear students and teachers. As we know, vocabulary and grammar, they are bricks and sticks of any language. They are considered now. So, even if you go, if you want to read a text, if you want to draft a script, you need the knowledge of a word, how it is used, in which context and in which way it has to be used. So, the knowledge of words, knowledge of well-framed sentences is a must even to comprehend any text or to write or express your emotion when it comes to creative expressions. So, though vocabulary and grammar are not very much tested in other areas, but we have this section where they are directly tested. Okay, so here it is interesting as well as challenging, both at the same time. Challenging where we have to draft, we have to create sentences, we have to convert sentences using our knowledge, our logical, our practice, okay? And interesting because answers are readily available over there. So, once we go through all the text, all the passages, even when you, while you read any lesson in the text or while you answer any question, you need word power. So, while you read, you grab the knowledge of words. You grab the knowledge of sound, pronunciation, or the spelling, or the usage, or different forms of it, all types of knowledge when it comes to vocabulary. In the same way, grammar, there is no need to mention its importance because it is everywhere. As we said, bricks of the language vocab, and grammar gives the framework of any language. Now, we'll see in detail how vocabulary and grammar are going to be tested in an exam and how we can crack that area with very high confidence in a short while.
Thank you very much, Rajeshwari. Now, and let me move to this Lakshman again. Can you suggest some strategies, how to face this reading comprehension? So, this is a very important thing since it is, it's covered more, marks, and just suggest to the students some more strategies, Lakshman.
Okay. Actually, so we also teach the children that no question is given from textbook and no question is covered from any material available on the market and all. We teach right from beginning, from class 6 to class 8, and the students have also realized that during summative assessment and in their previous classes also. So, and then students are of the opinion that then what should I prepare? So, what material should I follow? So, you are teaching that no question is covered from our comprehension questions given at the end of each lesson, and no material is useful for preparing for reading comprehension. So, that is in reality that is common for any student at the student level.
Exactly.
But the thing is, here what my suggestion is, so to get the confidence over, so here you are not we are not testing your memory power, we are testing your understanding and your reflective abilities. So, that is why I suggest the children to build the summaries for each reading on their own. So, that is a very important and proven strategy to score very good marks.
Yeah.
So, if the students are able to prepare the summaries of their own, then they will be very confident enough to write any question, any type of question which is given under any passage. So then to build confidence and to give better performances, that so the students will get a doubt that how can I prepare the summary on my own. So there you can follow one strategy. So for example, you prepare some factual questions regarding each lesson. So for example, you take 𝗧 attitude is altitude, and you have to divide the lesson into some meaningful chunks, like his childhood and how did his parents feel when he was born, and how did his parents help him to survive independently, and when was he realized, like that. If you can frame such questions and answer on your own. So as I just my co-panelist said, you don't bother about your grammar and vocabulary and everything. Just you put your ideas on paper, then you go through 2 or 3 times, and otherwise you can take the help of your teacher to make the corrections. Then if you put all your answers together, it becomes your own summary.
Do you suggest any group work in the peer kind of thing here for this particular strategy?
Yeah, that is true. So because in all the in every class there are some gifted children, there
Yes.
are average, and those who are very much interested in English. So the students will help you. If you show them your answer, they will give some guidance and some corrections. Even some technology is also available nowadays. If you are good at using technology, you can make use AI also.
Yeah.
So whatever answer you have written, just you upload in that any AI tool, that will suggest you the corrections of errors. So you can make use this technology nowadays, whomever is it accessible. So this is all the work you need to do. Then this is learning is a process, not to memorizing the things. So during this course of practice, you will also learn how to how to correct your errors, how can you write well-formedness, structures with well-formedness. So this is all the process. Only be confident and prepare your own material for yourself.
That's good. Very good strategy that you have given. I think the students would understand this, what the strategy is given by Mr. Lakshman. Now again, let's move to this writing part. That's a creative expression. Nagaraj, at the end of the day, getting marks is our target. Children should get good marks, And can you suggest, in the nuances, that the intricacies, that where the valuation part of thing, where if the indicators that make the children to get more gaining marks, in that term, can you give some suggestions of how they must go to face the examination to get more marks?
Yeah, sure, sir. So with your permission, I would like to take a little more time here. As you know, every one of us know, discourses, writing discourses, most of the students, they feel it as a challenging task. But when you realize how the marks are awarded in the examination, I am sure at the end of this session, definitely every one of you feel very confident. All right. So every one of you have a look here. Instead of directly going for the scheme of evaluation, let's just I would like to remind you, just we have 39 days to go, and here we are going to provide you last minute tips. All right. Here you see, I am going to handle with question number 14. How many marks, dear children, tell me? 10 marks. All right. So here you will be tested major discourses, as already mentioned by my co-panelists. So they are divided into 2 groups, right? Group A. Group A, it is meant for textbook dependent. What do you mean by textbook dependent? Whatever the discourses here you are asked, that will be related with the textbook. Okay. The question will be linked with the context of any of reading A, right? We have 8 themes. Out of 8 themes, 1 theme will be connected with the question. When you see, if you simply sit in the classroom, if you are able to recollect whatever the question, whatever the theme it is, immediately you can answer. And the beauty of major discourse is, not only major discourse, even minor discourse, the bullet points will be given. You will be given hints. Based on those hints, you can make a rough plan and you can make it fair. Here you see, so these are the these are the textbook dependent discourses we have. I don't want to take much of your time here because all of us we know about them, right? And then next we have group B, that is textbook independent. Here completely the questions will be independent, they won't be linked with the textbook. So, in the entire question paper from question number 1 to 36, there are only 2 areas where you have internal choice. That is question number 13, grammar part. There you will be given 6 questions. Out of 6, you have to answer 4. And the other question is question number 14, where you will be tested major discourses. Here only you will have internal choice. Out of 2, you have to answer 1. Other than that, nowhere you will be having internal choice in our English paper.
Yes,
all right?
Yes,
sir. And this is the one thing we have to remember. And one more thing, you know, the beauty of our English is only for our English.
Yeah.
Part B will be given at the beginning of the examination.
Together we give.
Yeah, together they will be given, so that you know you will have ample time even to spend on your part B. Right? Here you let us see here. Then the next question number 15, that is for 5 marks, minor discourses. Minor discourses you have no internal choice. Question number 15 will be from group A and question number 16 will be from group B. Group B, poster, invitation, profile, and group A, message, notice and diary. Of course, every one of us, we have been with these discourses for the last 5 years. You will be aware of this. But now here, sir, here I would like to mainly focus on actually what is the pattern they have to follow to get higher marks.
Exactly. That's the question I was asking. Because
Yeah.
at the end
So-
of the day, marks are very important.
Yeah.
Because
So
the
the-
pattern should go. This is the intricacy that we need to adopt, you know. Children should understand to get more marks, you know.
Yes, sir. So here you see, so how we are going to get higher marks? First of all, you have to know what examiner will see in your script. When you write your composition, what will be tested? Here, instead of blindly going, I would like to explain you one question. I have taken this question from March 2025 question. Here you see, every one of you. Yeah, here you see. For the, see the question is given conversation. For the conversation script, these are the indicators where the marks are, how the marks are allocated. See here, first part is writing dialogues contextually. If you are able to write the dialogues contextually, you will be awarded 2 marks, right? And the dialogue should be 10 to 12 exchanges. See what I am explaining here? I am explaining how the marks are given in the examination. For example, out of all 11 major discourses, I have taken a question from March 2025 paper, right? So, suppose if conversation appeared in the examination, how that is going to be evaluated? Here you see, for writing dialogues, if you maintain the contextual dialogues, that to 10 to 12 exchanges, you will be given how many marks? 2 marks. And the next, not only just maintaining the contextuality, but you have to maintain the sequence. If you, for example, there is a conversation, here the question is, the conversation is between Nick and Bethany Hamilton, right? For example, that is the context. But you know, if you take a conversation between Nick and his mother, and Nick and his father, and conversation between Nick's mother and father, that will become irrelevant. You have to be contextual. And when he met Bethany, what did he do at first? What he might have done? He introduced himself. First introduction should come. Then formality should come. Then what he is expecting from Bethany Hamilton. How he concludes. The sequence is also very important. If you maintain that sequence, do you know? For the sequence you have 2 marks. And the third area is using social norms and discourse markers. And many of us, we ignore this part. What is the social norms? Maintaining, you know, for example, when you enter the classroom, you ask your teacher, excuse me, sir, may I come in? That is one type of social norms, right? You know, when you happen to meet an elder, you wish them, that is called a social norm. When you maintain these, whether these things are maintained in the discourse, in your expression, that is also tested. Do you know, for that you have 2 marks. And well-formedness of the exchanges. 4th one, you know here tenses, the aspects, the agreement, the PNG future. Do you know what is this PNG futures? It looks like a new term, right? So PNG is nothing but person, number, gender. Person, first person, second person, third person, whether you are maintaining aptly or not. Number, singular number, plural number, whether you properly organize it or not. Then G stands for gender, whether you maintain proper masculine or feminine gender. But for all these things, only 1 mark is given. Rather than contextual, rather than sequencing, rather than social norms, the tense, and for the grammar, it is given only for 1 mark. Do you observe? But that's the reason all the time we tell you our pedagogy itself is discourse-oriented pedagogy, where the grammar is, direct grammar is given less importance. Of course, we have in the examination, but in terms of when you express in reading comprehension, in writing discourses, it may have least importance. That is the thing we have to realize, right? And the 5th one is conventions of writing. Can you realize? For the reading comprehension, earlier we discussed. For the reading comprehension, for 8 questions and study skills 4 questions altogether, for conventions of writing, we have 10 marks. But here, we call it as, writing discourse. But here for the conventions of writing, only 1 mark is given. We have to maintain. Of course, coherence, use of connectives and pronouns. How coherence, what do you mean by coherence? How your ideas are sticking together. Whether you are going out of your question or you are contextualized, whether you are maintaining the sequence or not, and how the pronouns are maintained properly. Bethany, she is a feminine gender, whether you use properly she or not. And Nick, whether you use he or not. All these things will be tested. All of them together, so they will be, we have 10 marks allotted. So, for each discourse, we have indicators like this. In the classroom, in 8th class, 9th class, 10th class, all of us, all the teachers, we have been giving you proper indicators. So when you keep these indicators in your mind, you will never be worried and you will never feel stressful in the examination. My dear friends, follow these indicators for each discourse separately. Automatically, you will be given the maximum marks. And in the later part, let us have an example as
that's good, Nagaraj. But this is it again. The thing is, this is not only point keep in the minds of the children. Even the teachers also should take care of this. How the marks have been scheme put into a distribution of kind of thing. The teachers also should take this point and make the children to make ready. Now, the topic is, now grammar and vocabulary. Generally, where the children commit the mistakes in terms of grammar and vocabulary, can you just throw some light on this and to go into the deep into that? That mistake should not be committed by students, so that, as Nagaraj was telling them, how the marks should gain more and more. Please, over to you, Rajeshwari.
Thank you, sir. Once again, mistakes happen when we don't practice. And practice takes place only when we practice. There is no shortcut. When you want to acquire a reading skill, you have to read, that's all. When you want to develop, enhance your capacity in writing words with correct spellings, correct usage of words, only practice. How do you do that? See, vocabulary knowledge or grammar is not new in 10th class, right? So, right from 6th class, whatever the areas we are testing or being tested in 10th class, we have the base right from 6th class. If we go still further, we might have them even from class 1 to class 5. So, now there is no time because we are on the, like end line of our teaching, our learning of 10th class, all our academic year. Now we are on the brim of the examination. Now we are entering. So, what is to be done here? What are the errors? We do errors basically when writing singular and plural and opposites, then giving the meaning, forming a sentence, then spelling errors. See, though they are not considered to a very large extent in reading comprehension and even in creative expression, if you want your thought to be put on paper, you need a word.
Exactly.
You need a sentence, a structure, a frame, a framework, a skeleton of what to be written first and how it is to be written. Even if you write your thought correctly, you express your idea when it comes to the previous example, let me take Bethany Hamilton. You don't know how to express it. You know she was the coach for Nick, but you don't know the spelling of coach. What do you do there? And you want to understand a question in creative expression. For example, flood victim. If a child understands the spelling of flood, able to understand the pronunciation, able to understand the meaning of victim, no need, even if the child doesn't know how to read the entire question. Flood victim, these two words will help the child to think on that. So words and grammar, what they do is they help you to generate something in your mind, to put them on the paper. So what are the areas what we cover? Most of the students, they make mistakes is, as we discussed, it is spelling. Okay, like we see here, strong vocab and grammar equals to better comprehension, better writing and communication skills. And how does it help? A knowledge of vocabulary and grammar, how does it help? Directly impacts reading. Now let us focus on common prefixes, suffixes, roots, okay? Revise tricky word meanings and usage. Practice grammar rules for tenses. So what are the areas where we commit mistakes? Common mistakes to avoid are mixing up similar words, okay? Then incorrect tense usage in narratives. We write present tense to past tense and we forget to add does, yes to in present tense for the third person. So all these areas we need to keep in mind. Then what are the missing articles? Articles are also mostly misused and misplaced in sentences. Okay, we must know the basic idea of what an article or an indefinite or a definite article is, and wrong prepositions in passive voice, and how to frame sentence when you convert transformation, when you transform the sentences as asked. Okay, so how does this all to overcome? What should be done to overcome this? To overcome, we need to have again the practice. So when you talk about some important questions where children find it very difficult to answer, like direct speech, indirect speech, if you want to convert the speech, when it comes to transformation of sentences, okay. So, and also voice. Voice is, I think it's the most children, they feel difficult to how to bring it here and there. So for that you need to have the knowledge of what is subject, what is now object, then like how to, what has to be supplemented here and there, how to change the verb of the sentence. So this all can happen only through practice, children. So my instruction to all the children here is, when you read anything, don't just read to, okay, you will get the message, you will understand, but while you read any text, focus on the vocabulary, focus on the words.
That's good strategy.
Focus on the sentence, how it is formed.
Yes.
Because most of the questions are text based. So as many times as you read the reading text, it helps in comprehension, it helps in using words, it also helps in forming a knowledge, a concept without your knowing. You will develop a concept what is right about what is right and what is wrong. The moment you see a wrong sentence, something strikes in your mind. No, this is this is not what I read. When I was going through that lesson, this word should not be here. So this word should be here. So that unknowingly we learn.
That's good.
We learn.
Yeah, nice.
So when you read anything, you focus on what you read. Okay.
That's a good, actually we know that we always say that language is already existing in the minds of the children. Through this, all these activities, all this questioning and anything and strategies, we need to unfold the language already which is there in the minds of the children. Yes. That's a very good thing, and let me hop on to this again, the reading comprehension, Lakshman. When they are facing the examination, do you suggest anything, while facing the examination in terms of reading comprehension? Can you suggest some strategies to the students, please?
All right, sure, sir. So, in continuation to my previous conversation, so I have just suggested the children to prepare their own summaries, and divide the reading passage or reading into meaningful chunks and build their own summaries. So, recently we have also, our department has also supplied the 𝗹𝗫𝗁 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧, where we have given the thematic division of each reading, and we have also supplied one model comprehension passage with answers and one practice question for each reading. So, students now, I think that material is also very useful for building of your own summaries. So, because we have supplied that mind map for each reading. So, now you take the help of that mind maps and try to write a paragraph for each theme, then you can, like that you can gradually build your own summary. And adding to Rajeshwari madam's point, where you can get some confidence regarding the vocabulary. Unless you put your ideas on the paper, so you cannot know, you don't know what mistakes you frequently you do in your
even the mistakes also should register. When they see the terms of in the text, they'll understand, they easily reflect about.
Right.
Isn't it?
Yeah. That is why. So, you people only, so in my experience, I have seen the children practice for examination for only mathematics. They take paper and they write, solve the problem. So, only for mathematics. But you need to do the same thing with all other subjects too, including Telugu, English and all subjects. Then only you will come to know what mistakes you are frequently doing, you are frequently committing in your examinations. Then only, so if you assess yourself, then that mistakes never be repeated. So, that is my first advice. And as sir just asked, the process you need to adapt while you are attempting the question in the examination hall. So, generally the students have the habit of reading the passage, then they think that I don't know the answer of any question because I couldn't find any related word in the passage. But there, so when you read the passage multiple times, so that will give some sense and that will enable you to guess some meanings of some difficult words which are unfamiliar to you. So, here just as you see, you can see on the screen, I have given one sample question, one paragraph, one passage is given from the Story House Part 1 and followed by 4 questions. So, here you need to read the instructions first. The first one is read the passage carefully, and the second instructions you will find just above the questions, answer the following questions in 3 to 4 sentences. So, you don't forget each question carries 3 marks. So, you are supposed to write at least 3 sentences to get by marks. Otherwise, you will not be awarded by marks. So, you please make a note this instruction. And the second thing is, you need to read the passage multiple times for comprehension and guess the meanings of unfamiliar words, because I have just mentioned that we provide the context to trigger you, to make you think about that. So, the more you interact with the passage, the better you understand and you can easily guess the meaning of some unfamiliar words or phrases. And the third one is read the questions carefully and identify the keywords. So, generally in each question we find some keywords, like we can also call them as content words like adjectives, verbs, adverbs, and nouns and some reflexive pronouns. These are all help you to sense or guess the meaning of the passage. So, if you go on like this, then you can easily and the very important thing is, just you see on the screen in the next slide. So, I am just giving you an analysis how you should analyze each question. So, here I have given one question for you. So, why do you think Bayaji's elder daughter asked Nana, how is that you haven't brought anything for us? How did Bayaji feel about her question? So, this is the question given for 3 marks under passage. So, after reading this passage, you should not think for answer immediately. So, just I have given how you should analyze each question. The first one is, how many sub questions are there in the question? Actually, this is one question, but it has got 2 sub questions. Okay. The first one is, why do you think 𝗬𝗫 and how did 𝗬𝗫 feel about her? The second point you need to think, what tense is used in the first and the second sub question. So, here you see the first sub question, the tense is used is simple present tense, and the second sub question, the tense is used simple past. So, in your answer, you have to use the same tense to answer that question. And the third part is decide the type of or nature of each sub question. So, sometimes the question may have maybe belong to the same type of question or same it may have the same nature of question. But here when we have two sub questions, the two sub questions may belong to different types of questions. First of all, you decide that what type does each sub question belong to.
Yes.
Next, the last one is identify the areas to be modified in each question. So, really after, I think you have already identified that our question in English, our questions are a little bit lengthy. So, the intention of giving that lengthy question is to provide a context again even in the question, not only with passage,
yes,
and to provide context in the question too. So, how much part is how much part can I use to write my answer? So, these are all very interesting, but you need to pay attention and you need to pay some patience. So, immediately you think for answer for each question. Just you try to analyze each question like this, because we have ample time, 3 hours time is there and 15 minutes is given for only reading and understanding the question paper.
That's a good. Thank you very much, Lakshman. Now, let's go to the Nagaraj, you know that we have two dichotomy in terms of discourses, that is major and minor. So, just can you suggest something to the students that how do we go with this major and minor? Okay, that give a clear indication that now to make them understand the difference between these two.
Okay, sir. Sure, sir. If I get back to my continuity, discourses part, right? See, when it comes to discourses, the beauty of these questions, and not only discourses, even for the reading comprehension, 50 to 60% of the answers are available in the question paper itself. That is the beauty of our English. See, let me show you here, and even sometimes, when examinations will come in the future, students will come to us. Sir, can you give us an important question? What question may come in the examination? See, for English, need not go for any expectation. If you know the sentence formation, you can answer any question. Even if in that case, if we analyze the previous question papers, what is the tendency of questions? In general, what are the questions repeated? In the last minute, as sir asked now, what should be our choice? If you are very comfortable with the textbook, if the
yes,
students are very comfortable with the textbook, they can go with group A.
Yes.
Even that is there, internal choice is there for major discourses. And even for the minor discourses, exclusively you have one group A, that is diary, notice and message, where they can be dependent on textbook.
Yes.
So, here let me show you. Let me show you one surprising thing. When this single paper was introduced since 2023, I analyzed these 3 papers. Sir. Out of these 3 papers, something very surprising happened. In group A, we have like a conversation, interview and drama script. It is like in the form of a dialogue writing, nothing but developing a conversation. The moment you enter the classroom, you talk to your friend, where you develop a conversation. You talk to your teacher, where you develop a conversation. The moment you go home, you talk to your parents, there also you develop the conversation. When you take the conversation which is dependent on the textbook, when you take this as an examination question, I have to remember this particular lesson, then you feel difficulty, the stress comes. But how naturally you are developing your conversation in your day-to-day life. The same thing when you consider in the examination, obviously you develop the conversation, maybe interview, maybe drama script. Alright. And this is one type of question. And the other end, you have a report, you have a speech, you have an essay, you have a letter. Here you see it is like a descriptive, like explanatory part. Here, if you are not comfortable with the textbook lessons, unfortunately, if you have been absent due to some health reasons, here you can take up this question. All right. Here, let us have a look here on this slide. Here, all of you. Yeah, here I have taken up the questions from the, even in fact, I have prepared a question how you have to develop the answer and in what way you will be given maximum marks like that. But here let me give you, see question number 14, this is March 2025. Other than the conversation, this is something about writing a speech script. See, one question is conversation, the other one is speech script. And let me go for here for the speech script, again for the contextual relevance 2 marks and the argumentative or persuasive or interactive 2 marks, and for the citation of the examples 2 marks, and if you are able to form the sentences properly 2 marks, and the conventions of the writing 1 mark, and coherence 1 mark, of course, right. So here I would like to show you something very interesting. All of you look at the slide here. Yeah, this part. Yeah, I would like to take, this, every one of you have a look here. And March 2024 question, again question number 14. In the text environment, we have come across Wangari Maathai, the first African woman. The question is not important. What is given here? Here you see, write a possible interview. In 2025, it was a conversation. In 2024, it was, interview. And the choice for the interview, for the choice for the conversation was speech. And here the choice for the interview is, here you see, it is, as a part of National Voters Day, a variety of programs were organized. Here the question is news report. When the conversation, the surprising thing is, for the last 3 years, it has been repeated.
Yeah.
So if you ask me what is an important question, my dear students, you get ready for one question, that is dialogue type question. The other one is explanatory part.
That's report kind of.
Yeah, report kind of, speech kind of, letter kind of, essay kind of thing, if they prepare. Let me show you the last one, that is the 2023. See, 2023, it is from my childhood lesson. And here, a possible conversation. Again, the conversation is repeated. 2023 conversation, 2025 conversation. In between 2024, it was an interview, and 2026, my dear children, you can guess. And the choice for this question is, again, a speech script. There it was a conversation and speech. Here it is a conversation and speech. If you ask me what question may come, I did not tell anything. You can analyze the question paper. Same in the case with minor discourses. This is the way, sir, how the question paper pattern
in fact, if you look at this, the discourses that we start from class 1, first we go to the description of a picture, and then we switch out to the conversation.
Yes.
After that, again, it's like a small reporting kind of thing. It's just like a story.
Yes.
So we put together this conversation and the description together. It comes as a story kind of thing. But here the distinct feature is there. We go with this conversation and the report. It makes really sensible, because coming the same way, only the conversation, only the report may not be correct. I think we don't know how the question paper frame done, because it is not beyond our comprehension. So anyhow, you have given a very clear picture about it, and I thank you very much for that. Now I switch over to this Rajeshwari, and can you just suggest something? Grammar and vocab is going to be covered in the examination. Can you just give some suggestions? May not be important kind of thing, I can't say, but the possible questions that appear in the examination. Now, Rajeshwari.
Thank you, sir. So I once again insist on this, reading the textual passages. When you keep reading, when you read again and again with comprehension, you will find the area where you feel that you have mastered the vocabulary and you have mastered the grammatical structure of it. When we see the question number 13, when we see, it covers transformation of sentences. So, under transformation of sentences, children generally, they feel little difficult to change. Even they score comparatively less. But when you have a choice over there, out of 6, you have to write only 4. That means 4 to 8 marks. But I suggest you children, write all 6. Keep the other 2 as an extra. Okay, as an extra part, where in case if you make any mistakes in the earlier ones, these marks could be covered. They can be compensated over there. But when it comes to which one is easier? Which one is easier? See, always we feel when we have to deal with speech sentences and voice sentences, we need to have some basics. We need to have the knowledge of some basics. Like how when it comes to tense, we had tense in class 6th, unit 3. We have tense exercise in class 7th, in class 9th, class 8th. So, in class 7th itself, we have unit 1, 5, 6, they cover tense part. Okay. So, when we had enough practice in those classes, now it's not a big issue in 10th class after giving thorough practice. Now, coming to voice. Even voice also, most of the students, they feel difficult. So, what is to be done there? Know what kind of persons are there in English, like first person, second person, third person. Get acquainted with the knowledge of helping verbs, okay, how are they used and what are do forms, have forms, be forms. Practice those simple sentences. Earlier we talked about group discussion, group practice. See, not only for maths or science or for any diagram to be practiced. You practice these sentences, make a group, tell one girl or one boy, divide your group members, giving them each topic. Okay, one will be framing sentences on joining sentences with who, if, what, like, okay. Another will be focusing on the change of tense. Another will be focusing on if clauses. Okay, they are not as complicated as you feel, children. They are very easy. But first thing, you need to develop confidence that, okay, I can write those sentences. Let me give a try. I can see many average and above average children, they don't even try transforming the sentences, or they simply do, what they do is, they simply copy the sentence in the same way in the answer book also. So that's not going to work. That's not going to help you. Try to just think about it, give some time on it, how to change it, what is given in the paragraph, and what is that you have to change. Mostly, only 1 or 2 words you need to add. So, joining the sentences, removing the capitalization, removing the punctuation marks, and adding the word in between, even for scarcely, when. Okay, last time we got no sooner than. So, these are only 2 words where we have to add in that. But see, we are getting 2 marks if we do it correctly. Even if you write complete answer in a proper way, with your thoughts, okay, you may not get 2 by 2. But if you transform the sentence just by adding 1 word in between those 2, you will be getting 2 marks. That is the easier part in grammar. And next comes editing. Don't feel, editing is quite easy, I think, sir. These days, children are very much interested in doing editing part.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah, they are really, as you said, they are discussing with one another.
Good.
And what is to be edited here and what is the wrong here. We generally give exercises to the children, and we allot pages, page numbers or passages.
That's generally, it's a really good activity, but generally teachers do not practice editing in the classroom process. But it makes them to have a strong imprint of language when the editing is being taken up in the classrooms.
Yes, sir. I assign one group to prepare wrong sentences.
Okay.
Wrongly spelled or wrongly framed sentences.
Yes.
Other group has to correct or edit it.
That's wonderful.
So that's not only fun for them, it makes them to, come on, now our group is going to win. Let's identify how, even writing wrongly spelt words, wrongly framed sentences also is a task. Sir.
Yeah, that's
also is a task. What has to be, first for that, we have to identify what is right.
Yes.
In order to make it right, we have to identify what is wrong.
Yeah. So
in either way, this editing part is helping them to understand the usage of grammar and vocabulary.
That's good, yes. Rajeshwari. That's good. Again, all the receiving centers, and we are ready to take up some phone calls also. The panelists are ready to give answers for your queries. Please come up with your questions. Meanwhile, again, I'll switch over to this reading comprehension part, to this Lakshman. Again, now, we have, when you wanted to go with this reading, one phone call is receiving, and come on. Hello. Hello, please, speak up, please.
Yes.
Where are you from? Speak up, please. Mahbubnagar. Yes, who are you? Mention your...
English teacher.
Okay, please, please. What's your question?
Yeah.
What's your query?
About editing, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. Sir, hello.
Yes, please. Yes, please. I'm listening.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Editing, sir. Editing, how to solve editing?
Ask the question.
About how to find out the error
Yes.
in editing, sir.
Yeah. Rajeshwari, can you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We have a slide on that, sir, on editing part. There are areas where errors are given in a passage, like in the area of pronouns, in spelling sometimes, in verb form, in word form, in arrangement of words, word order. Okay, in these areas, the errors are given in articles, in pronouns, articles, verbs. Okay, then word order. In order to get a complete idea of errors, first we need to understand in which tense the passage is given. For that,
Yes.
we have a guiding sentence in the beginning. In the first sentence, there wouldn't be any error. So, followed by that sentence, each sentence is numbered. Then from that sentence, one sentence or one numbered sentence will be, each one will be having one error. So, how to understand or how to find out in which tense the paragraph is. So, most of the times, in identifying the tense gives entire knowledge of the paragraph. So, the first sentence, if it is in present tense, it goes in present tense. Entire passage goes in present tense. So, what verbs are coming under present tense? What verbs under to be used? Even we can see the areas here covered under editing. So, when we see, sir, here main focus is on tense and verb forms. Okay, simple past and past perfect pronoun, reflexive pronoun, then word order like conjunctions, relative pronouns, use of excess words, to infinitives, paid conjunctions. Conditional sentences, all these areas, may not all these things occur in the same passage, but most of the times we find pronoun errors, article errors, word order, verb form, and sometimes spelling. Okay, so what is to be done? How a child can be guided in this area? First, let the child understand in which tense the passage is. For that, you need to understand the starting statement or starting sentence. That's called guided sentence. Okay, so when the child is able to trace the verb of that passage,
good,
automatically,
we are going to get another call,
yes.
please. And I think, from Habibnagar, you got the answer. Now, when we are going to receive another call, yes, please.
Good afternoon, madam. I am Niharika from 𝗵𝗵𝗁 𝗚𝗏 Kamlapur Mandal, Halamkonda district.
Yes, please.
Good afternoon, ma.
My question to you is, how can we prepare for the unseen poem in the part B, especially the topic figures of speech? How can we make it simple way, madam?
Yes, yes, ma. Very good. You have a very beautiful question with you. Now we have our experts, sir.
Yeah. Now, shall we ask the Lakshman?
Lakshman, sir.
Okay, Niharika, you have asked a very important question. Generally, this is the problem of many students.
Yes.
So, this unseen poem is also come under reading comprehension again. So, the thing is, generally, we have the examiner will give one poem from any authentic text. So, what you need to do is, first of all, you go through the poem first, then you also go through the questions, and the intention of giving this poem is to test whether you can understand the poem. And generally the poets use the words, sometimes they violate even the grammar rules.
Yes.
Because to convey their message very intensively, and they have got lot of freedom. So each word, that peripheral meaning is different from its internal meaning. So you try to understand the internal meaning. First of all, you need to try to understand the actual theme of the poem. So what does this poem convey? What theme does this poem convey?
Yes.
And what were the intentions of the poet to write this poem? And are there any characters involved in this poem, or the poet himself expressing his ideas and thoughts. That is the first point. Second point is try to identify the answers for difficult words, unfamiliar words. Sometimes the examiner will also provide some meanings for unfamiliar words below this poem. That will also help you, some glossary.
Yeah.
And you also try to identify the figures of speech. Generally, in our examinations, if we observe our previous papers, 4 or 5 figures of speech are being given. One is simile, metaphor, and personification, repetition, and very rarely like hyperbole and alliteration. I think if you practice these figures of speech with examples, for example, you know, simile means is a comparing two things using words like and as. Okay. For example, you come to metaphor. Metaphor is stating one thing is another. For example,
anytime we are going to have another call. I hope, you know, I think Niharika, you got some information about what's your query is. Now we receive another call.
Hello.
Yes, please.
I am Akshaya from TG Model School, Gangadhara.
Okay.
I personally feel question 22 to 26 editing.
Yeah.
I personally feel it is difficult.
Okay.
So can you suggest any tips and strategies for answering editing questions and scoring good marks?
It's okay. Now when the question has been answered just now, and still you want more 1 or 2 tips, and I request Rajeshwari to give 1 or 2 tips, because editing you feel very tough because it hasn't been practiced in the classroom process regularly. That is the problem. I hope no problem now, when 1 or 2 suggestions that Rajeshwari can give in this part.
Of course, sir. Akshaya, I really don't think you have any problem in editing, because you are speaking a well-framed, your English is very good. Okay. So, all you have to do is for the examination here, for this, from when we take editing from examination point, you have to practice, Nana. You have to practice it. Okay. Take, as we discussed earlier, just be with your friends, make some mistakes. Deliberately, you make some mistakes in some paragraphs. Let others solve or identify those errors. Okay. Areas, your teachers, they must have told you what areas, in which areas all errors will be occurring. Okay. You practice those areas. Like again, what we said, word order, spelling, tense, okay, conjunctions. Instead of and, they keep but. So, how and but differ in meaning. So, when you practice them,
even sometimes it goes to thematic.
Yes,
thematic is a very important. They need to understand what the theme of this particular thing. That's also how the best they can make the sequence also. This also makes the strong language input in their minds. No, right? Good. It's okay. I think.
One more.
Yes, please.
Akshaya, we all can do one thing here when it comes to editing. Read that passage 2 or 3 times. We have ample time in our center. I mean, during exam, read it again and again, since it's giving marks for us, okay?
That's good.
When you read again and again, automatically answer will strike you. You will be coming to one conclusion, okay, this word is not relevant here. This has to be changed. So, as we discussed earlier, first sentence is going to be your sentence. So, follow that sentence. And whether all other sentences are in concord with that sentence, or on par with that sentence, with the verb, with the tense, automatically you'll get the
That's
answers.
the guided sentence, the anchor sentence.
Yes,
so,
yes.
they must follow the sentence. It's okay. Now, where shall we have again the reading comprehension? Lakshman, we have, when you wanted to face the question in terms of reading comprehension, we have factual, analytical, inferential, of course. This way, can you just give something how the strategically children would go to face this particular reading comprehension?
Okay,
Yes,
sir,
please.
sure. So, as I just mentioned, when we discuss how to analyze each question, generally, when you start analyzing these questions, you will find all the questions do not belong to the same category.
Exactly.
So, and you also very soon you realize that you don't find any answer in the given passage. So then you try to analyze. For example, so when we observed our previous papers, only we hardly get answer for one question. That is called a factual question, where you get the information readily available in the given passage.
Yeah.
So these are called factual questions, which demands the facts given in the passage.
Exactly.
And the second one is analytical type questions. So you need to analyze the given passage. So how can you analyze? You have to you can read from the slide also on the screen. So you need to break the passage into some meaningful chunks. And for example, there may be some characteristics. For example, I'll cite one question from the lesson childhood. So what are the so please explain the character of 𝗪 Lakshmana Shastri. So you need to understand what he has done when the new teacher humiliated the children. So with that, you need to take up his secularistic nature, and how he warned the new teacher. Okay, so he warned him not to poison the tender brains of the children. So in that way, you need to build up one character.
Now, it's okay. That is what actually you've been talking about. Now, when we just have something, this Nagaraj, finally, can you say something about what are your concluding kind of points that you wanted to mention? Okay.
Yes, sir. Something is left over even in my part, that is regarding minor discourses. So till now we have focused on major discourses, how the marks will be awarded, and what are the indicators.
Right.
Let me once recollect the indicators for the minor discourses as well. Here in the minor discourses, again I have taken from March 2025 paper. In that, notice is given, right? So for the notice, my dear students, how the marks are allotted. And the worry of the most of the students is, most of the times they will get confused with the layouts. And sometimes a few children, they really feel difficult to remember all the layouts. My dear children, if you are able to remember all the layouts properly, it's really nice. If not also, don't worry, because you are allotted only 1 mark for the layout. If you remember, that's really fine, and it's very easy also to remember the layouts. Just you have to draw the box and date, where you have to write the date and heading, etc., depending on the discourse.
Just a minute here. There is a tiny difference between the notice and the poster. And there's a confusion, I think, in practically. Can you just give 1 or 2 suggestions on this, how they must differentiate it?
Yeah, notice is meant for question number 15, and poster is
not questions. I mean the difference.
Yeah, you see, when it is a notice, in general, when you sit in the classroom.
In terms of layout, I'm talking
in terms of layout, notice, we maintain something professional and official. When it comes to poster, you are completely free. So, the content, the highlight part should be highlighted. The poster, if it is an event, the event should be highlighted, and you are free to write, and the font size and the boxes you maintain, and you are very free, the border you maintain and the colors you maintain. And another question, most of the students have a doubt whether I can use different colors. And the colors, we don't suggest to use many colors, but you are free to use colors in terms of poster and invitation. Other than that, we don't encourage colors. Poster and the invitation, that will be fine. For the notice, it is professional and official. It is something official. And the poster, this is something informal. Here they are complete. They have their own liberty. Here in this case, they have to follow certain rules and regulations.
Nagaraj, we are running out of the time. Because you wanted to say one word.
Here I would like to show you once this slide. For the indicators for the notice, it is for the layout 1 mark, for maintaining coherence, whether you are writing about that particular given question not, for 1 mark, and details of the event for 1 mark, well formed sentences 1 mark, and conventions of writing, whether you maintain proper punctuation or not, 1 mark. All these things together, 5 marks will be awarded. So we have many things to share with you as we are running short of time. So these are the things we want to share with you all at this last minute. Thank
now you. Rajeshwari, that's what are your suggestions that you just given the very good concrete relevant suggestions, please.
Thank you, sir. So this is a suggestion from our side to all the teachers as well. We have 39 days to go, if I'm not wrong. No? So 39 days.
Exactly.
So can't we take 2 or 3 days for just vocabulary and grammar? See, the other day when we were talking or when we were planning about all these sessions, I got this thought of how about going to all other textbooks, all class textbooks. So then, interestingly, it is a known fact. Interestingly, what I came to know is, whatever the questions we get in 10th class under vocabulary, under grammar, all are being dealt in 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th. So, all exercises are there in all the classes. So, for coming 2 or 3 days or in a week, take 1 or 2 days. Take enough time. Okay. Sit with the textbooks and see the questions. Keep your question papers ready, earlier years question papers. Okay. Then see what type of questions are repeated and what questions can be done with the help of minor changes. Okay. And what questions are easily done, what needs a little bit practice. Okay. Where children confuse. So, when we go strategically, sir, right from, say, like we have punctuation, verbs, tense in all classes.
At this juncture, can you suggest teachers also to make them right preparation?
Yes, yes.
One or two
so, I
suggestions.
have made a grid of grammar and vocabulary with the help of my school teachers, and we are following that grid.
Okay.
For example, whenever we take tense part, if we are planning to take tense part in the class, it's not just directly we are taking 10th class book. We are taking that book in which tense is first introduced. Okay.
Yes.
Then later we are again going through different reference material where simple sentences are easily taught. Then later coming to complicated sentences. Little bit.
It's okay.
Yeah. Like
thank you, Rajesh. For now, when last final Lakshman, would you suggest something? In terms of that's the reading comprehension, where is a major chunk, that is very important thing. 1 or 2 suggestions quickly, please.
Okay, sure, sir. So, even for, I would like to suggest even our teacher friends, because we all know very well it carries a huge share in our examination system, that 37.
Yes.
And as we have previously discussed that you encourage your children to build their own summaries, because that gives a lot of confidence, and ask them to write answers in the classroom, even in special classes also. And try to give your versions on the screen and encourage them to correct their answers on their own, so that you can save your time too. And so, instead of giving the ready-made, tailor-made material to the children, that doesn't help you, because they start memorizing. That doesn't help the children, because when they stuck writing, even if they forget one word, or they stuck over there and they cannot go ahead. So, that is another thing. And try to give as many examples for as possible for unseen poems. That is also very important, because they can easily score 5 out of 5 in part B. So, this is what I need to do. Generally, we ask the children to write the answers, and that should be at expected length.
Yes.
Nearly 3 to 4 sentences.
Yeah.
So, this I would like to suggest.
Right. No. This is good. Very importantly, really, this session is very useful for you, I think, at the field. I think the children must have enjoyed the sessions. They have understood it well. Even the teachers also got some guidance through these sessions. And with this, all the 3 teachers they're practicing teachers. They have enough experience in the field. So they have poured out all their experiences, what they have been going all these years. I think these sessions are really solidly, you must have understood this, and which you must put into practice, and still we have 39 days, don't worry about it, and make it up and own it up. It's a language, because enjoy every moment and try to understand, discuss with your peers, discuss with the teachers, and have a lot of practice, the practice. Now this is a time for the practice. I hope with this concluding words, and we wanted to close the sessions on behalf of SCRT, on behalf of School Education Department, of course, our fraternity only. Thanks to this Lakshman, Nagaraj and Rajeshwari to making this session so successful, wonderful. I hope, and it's going to be a great thing, and I wish you all the best and have good marks with the flying colors, and we'll see this, and we may have another sessions also if possible in the near future before the examination also. Thank you very much and have a great time. Thank you.
Thank you.